in our wallpaper?
We've used these in the room, and I think what it did was sort of bring the room to life. It gave it a new personality, almost maybe kind of a facelift would be another word for it.
Yep.
We've taken a solid stripe down at the bottom of the room. It's what we call below the chair rail. And we use the stripe so that it's a little bit more interesting than just doing a solid, just painting it.
Right, and that chair rail is that piece of molding that divides the wall in half.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And then on the top of the chair rail, we've used a great little bouquet floral here. And this is just a smaller piece. But it incorporates, it's kind of like almost in the garden room. We've taken the outdoors and we've brought them indoors.
Terrific.
So it acts as a nice accent to the room. And then we divided the two papers in half by using a border. And there's a couple different options that you can always choose from. I think for this room we chose this particular border because of the pink edging on the paper.
Okay, so it's that.
Divide it in half.
It's that, and it's that. That's terrific. Well, I
we get
suppose
to
you're
take
going to
a
want
look?
to see what this looks like all done. Now, I want you to watch this because buried in here are the 7 sacred secrets to wallpapering. You may think that wallpaper should be handled only by seasoned professionals. Not true. This is the ultimate you-can-do-it project if there ever was one. Listen closely for the 7 secret, sacred, surefire tips.
If you're ready to become an expert wallpaperer, these are the tools that you're going to need. You need a plumb line. You need a tape measure. You need scissors. You need your retractable razor blade. You need your straight edge. You need your smoothing brush. You need a seam roller. You need rags. And of course, you need your dipping tray. Most of all, you need your wallpaper.
Before you get going, make sure you patch and sand all the little holes and that your wall is super clean so the paper will stick.
Then what we're going to do is we're going to start in an inconspicuous spot, most likely here in this corner. That way, when we're finished with our wallpapering, we come around. Most likely, they're not going to match over here. And it's not going to show because when you're coming into a doorway, you don't look behind you. To make sure that the wallpaper is going to be straight on the wall and not looking cockeyed, we've got our plumb line here that we've put this chalk on. What we're going to do is pull it down at the bottom, making sure we keep it straight. And then we're going to pull it out, and we're going to give it a snap, and we'll have a nice pink line. See? Now we'll have a nice straight line to put that wallpaper up against.
Now to the slimy stuff. Dip your wallpaper into lukewarm water for 10 to 15 seconds. Don't forget to cover all of your work areas with towels because it can get messy. On the table is performed the professional secret tip, a process called booking.
With booking, we're folding over one end at the top, and you're bringing your bottom up over here, and making sure you don't have any creases. You'll roll it up, and this is helping to spread the glue out evenly. All right, we're starting in our inconspicuous corner here. We're going around the corner with just a little bit of paper here. That way we won't waste too much on this doorway with our long paper. Now remember, we've got to line up to our straight plumb line. Now we're going to pull our bottom down that we've had booking, being careful that you don't tear it.
Simply line up the edges with the chalk line and overlap about 2 inches at the top. Then use a smoother to spread the glue.
Okay, now remember when you're smoothing, try to go up and down and to the side and back and forth instead of going continuously down or continuously up. Because what you'll do there is you'll end up putting too much glue in one area and then your paper might fall down.
Next, use a super sharp knife to cut the paper by the ceiling. If you have ceiling tiles, just shove any excess right in there.
And we're going to smooth it with the rag a bit too. The rag is going to help you get out all the bubbles as well. And I like using a rag for the final stages because you can feel those bubbles with your hand.
On your next roll, just match the pattern by eye. No fancy math needed here. Wallpaper is pretty movable, so you can get your edges perfect. You can even pull the paper back up if you get any big bubbles.
All right, after you've hung your next strip, go back to your first one with your seam roller. Not a steam roller. Go right to your seam and gently push it up and down. Don't go too hard because you don't want the glue coming out. See, now that's putting the seam right in there nice and tight. And now we've got it to where you can't even tell where we join those two pieces of paper together.
And that's it. No rocket science. just the satisfaction of knowing that you did it, and of how great it looks when you're done. Well, what do we think, huh? Does that look nice?
Bravo! It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
I want to thank Katie
Aw.
from Lowe.
There was a certain glamour to that, and then I was in